When Claire Thompson first took the job at Harrington and Blake law firm in downtown Chicago, she never imagined how much her life was about to change. Fresh out of law school and determined to prove herself, she was focused, disciplined, and bound by an unwavering sense of professionalism. Everything in her life followed a precise plan. Her goals were clear: build a solid reputation, earn respect, and avoid the distractions that derailed so many of her peers. But no one had warned her about Michael Harrington. Michael was one of the senior partners at the firm, a man in his early 40s with a commanding presence, sharp intellect, and a charm that disarmed even the most seasoned attorneys. Claire had heard whispers in the office about his intensity, both in the courtroom and in his personal life, but she dismissed them as gossip. That was until she met him face to face. It was a rainy Monday morning when Claire was summoned to the top floor. She entered his office expecting a brief introduction and a list of assignments. Instead, she found herself sitting across from a man who seemed to see right through her. Michael greeted her warmly, his voice low and deliberate. He spoke about the firm's values, about integrity and dedication, but there was something else in his tone, something unspoken. His eyes lingered a second too long. His compliments felt too personal. Claire's heart pounded beneath her blazer, but she kept her expression calm. Weeks turned into months, and Claire began working directly under Michael's supervision. They were assigned a high-stakes litigation case that required long nights, weekends in the office, and countless hours reviewing documents and preparing arguments. They grew close. Too close. Their conversations drifted from legal strategy to personal dreams, from the pressure of perfection to the ache of loneliness. Michael revealed that his marriage had become a hollow arrangement, a partnership in name only. Claire admitted how isolated she often felt in the competitive world of law. They were two people on separate islands, slowly building a bridge of shared vulnerability. It happened late one Friday night. The office was empty except for the glow of their desk lamps. Michael walked over with 2 cups of coffee, set one beside Claire, and leaned on her desk. The silence between them was thick, but not uncomfortable. Then he reached out, brushing a strand of hair from her face. Claire froze. Every rational thought screamed at her to step back, to maintain boundaries, to remember who he was. But she didn't move. When he kissed her, it wasn't impulsive, it was the culmination of every unspoken feeling, every glance, every near touch. She kissed him back. From that night on, their relationship crossed into dangerous territory. They kept it hidden from the firm, meeting at hotels, using secret email accounts, and exchanging coded texts. They were consumed by a passion they couldn't control, drawn to each other like magnets. But every moment together came with risk to their careers, their reputations, and the people who trusted them. Claire knew that if the affair were discovered, it would destroy everything she'd worked for. And yet, she couldn't bring herself to walk away. Michael was different when they were alone. He was softer, more vulnerable. He talked about the choices he regretted, the life he wished he had. With Claire, he felt seen. And Claire felt something she never had before: freedom. It wasn't just about the physical connection, it was the emotional intensity, the way he made her feel powerful, desired, and alive. Still, guilt gnawed at her. She avoided eye contact with colleagues, dodged questions about her weekend plans, and felt the weight of secrecy pressing down on her. Things came to a head when a junior associate, Mark Jenkins, started asking questions. Mark had noticed how often Claire was in Michael's office, how their schedules aligned a little too perfectly. One evening, he confronted her in the elevator. "Are you and Michael?" he began, trailing off. Claire's stomach dropped. "Just work," she said quickly, forcing a smile. But Mark didn't look convinced. She knew the walls were closing in. That night, she met Michael at their usual spot, a discreet hotel near the lake. She told him they needed to stop. It wasn't just about the risk anymore. It was about the lies, the anxiety, the way it was changing who she was. Michael took her hand. "I know this isn't sustainable," he said. "But I can't lose you." Claire pulled away, tears stinging her eyes. "We've already lost ourselves." They agreed to take a break, to give each other space. Claire threw herself into her work, volunteering for out-of-state depositions and late-night research. She stopped answering Michael's messages. She even went on a few dates, trying to rebuild the life she had before. But nothing felt the same. The spark she had with him, the intensity, it haunted her. 3 months passed. Then one morning, Claire arrived at the office to find a letter on her desk. It was from Michael. It wasn't an email, not a text, a handwritten letter. He wrote about everything, his feelings, his regrets, his hope that maybe one day they could find a version of their love that didn't destroy them. He ended with a line she couldn't forget: "Some love stories aren't meant to last forever, but that doesn't make them any less real." Claire folded the letter and placed it in her drawer. She didn't cry. She didn't run to him. She simply sat there, quiet, letting the weight of it all settle. Months turned into a year. Michael stepped down from his position at the firm, citing personal reasons. Claire was promoted, recognized for her dedication and brilliance. She found a rhythm again, a life that made sense, even if it lacked the fire she once felt. But every so often, she would walk by his old office, now occupied by someone else, and remember the love that broke every rule, the passion that changed her forever. She didn't regret it, not entirely. It taught her about vulnerability, about risk, and about the power of connection. And in a quiet way, it reminded her that the most unforgettable stories are not always the ones that end in forever, but the ones that make us feel more alive than we ever thought possible.